All right. Hi, I'm Suzanne from TVMEG. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, this is your first feature film, correct?
It is, yeah.
That's amazing. So, how long did it take to write it and then film it?
Yeah, I mean, all in everything from when I first got the idea to now the film actually coming out, it's been 5.5 years. Which I've been told, as I've, met more people in the business this year, is actually not a long time, but it's felt like a long time. But it was about, writing it, was about, it's hard to say because I started during COVID, but
Mhm.
it was definitely over, uh, you know, definitely a full year at least. And then it was just trying to get it made for a couple years and then shooting it very quickly and editing it and putting it together very quickly.
Wow. Can't imagine. It must be both exhilarating and exhausting at the same time.
Yeah, it's been all those things.
So, did it turn out pretty much the way you thought it would? Are there things you would go back and change if you could, or?
There's nothing I would go back and change. The film is, it feels like it's like all films, like it's kind of a time capsule of everything and so I appreciate that. It's definitely different in the sense that, in terms of Everett, when I wrote Griffin, he was written a bit more like he'd be kind of, it's so hard because now I just think of Everett, but Everett was, not quite the physical type we were looking for and different in a lot of ways, but was just such the superior actor that we, were desperate to cast him. So that definitely was different than I imagined. So really, and because Everett, which we did not anticipate, has such a huge emotional life and has a huge emotional life on his face, I think the movie did become more emotional as a result, just because he has a lot of, that power to him.
What now you have me curious. What
Mhm.
kind of physical type were you originally thinking?
Well, I think originally I just said like, oh, I don't want him to be, a sweet looking kid or and Everett, looks like a Norman Rockwell painting. He's very, very wholesome American. Like his face should be like on a box of, cookies or something. Like he looks
Yeah.
very like that. But we actually learned that worked to our advantage because I think when he first walks on stage at the beginning of the film, in his little gingham shirt, there is a kind of the audience thinks, based on how he looks, oh, here's this movie we're going to see about this sweet little kid. And so we get to subvert that, but it helps us that not just what he looks like, but also just that he has this really present emotional life and is such a authentic, honest actor. I think the audience leans in as opposed to if we cast a kid who was maybe just Griffin in real life, the audience might lean out.
Yeah, right. He
Yeah.
reminded me a little bit of the kid that plays in Young Sheldon, a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Kind of
Sure.
sort of innocent and thinks he knows everything, but he doesn't, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, it looks like it's been doing well at the film festival. So you must have done something right.
Yeah, we've been thrilled. We premiered at Tribeca last year and won a few awards there. And then we've played since then about 20 other regional fests and in Europe and North America. And yeah, it's been great. I've gotten to go. I went to about six of them. Amber went to
Wow.
about five of them. Juliet, the producer, went to another. So we all, were zigzagging around mostly. And now everybody's going to get to see it finally, which is exciting.
Great. Talk about casting, not just Everett, but Melanie and everyone in the movie.
Yeah, we just got so lucky. Meredith Tucker and Betsy Fippinger are our casting directors, and they were some of the very first people to come on board when we were barely a movie, where it was just me and the producer Juliet Berman and my manager Cullen Conley, who's an EP on the film. It was really just us and the PDF of the script, and Melanie was the first person we went to for the mom, and she said yes immediately and stayed a yes for a year and has been an amazing person, um, and along with being an amazing actress. And uh, Owen, I was introduced to me by the casting directors, and I met, a few different guys, young actors. I was not super familiar. I'm not as plugged in as I probably should be with the younger actors, and but the second we cast Owen, and the second that I first saw him play Brad, which was actually when we were auditioning, Owen was cast, and we were auditioning the three potential Griffins. Owen uh, read with them. I mean, and this, so the second he just started being Brad, I was like, how could, it just was like so exactly perfect. And yeah, and then Catherine Newton's in the movie, who's great, and Abby Ryder Fortson, who's really, we were so happy to have, and all of the junior cast also, we just were really, really lucky. There was not a bad apple amongst them, so they made it. I'm very aware that it's not always going to be this easy or lucky in terms of the cast that I get and how great they are off the screen as well as on.
Oh, I have to say that in the movie, and I've seen him in other things, but it's just in this movie, Owen reminds me of James Franco a bit. He looks a lot like him there.
Yeah, yeah, I think that my reference points for who I thought were Brad types were all people who were Brad's age when I was Griffin's age.
Hmm.
So uh I was always saying, like a young so and so. So
Yeah.
yeah, Owen, yeah, he's great, amazing in the film.
He certainly is. I read your notes about how you developed the film from watching your old home videos. Did you have any unrequited teen crushes that you also drew from for the movie?
I didn't really. That came
Oh,
later. It really was more that I had made another short that was I had made a short that was really, really ended up is very different than this film, but involved had an element to it of a young kid, actually an even younger kid, having a crush on an adult, and uh, a lot of people, just a huge amount of people, just told me that it was there that they had had that experience,
hmm.
and so more than anything, I think why I ended up, and what I realized through making that was that you can just get away with more. When the lead is a kid as opposed to an adult. Like people are
Sure.
more forgiving, and it's like, well, he is a kid, so his behavior and the maniacal things that he does, I think an audience is more forgiving of because it's a 14-year-old. And so uh that really was what was interesting to me about doing a whole feature. Not even that I was thinking of, oh, I want to make a coming of age film, or oh, I want to make an autobiographical film. It was just themes that I was interested in that I wanted to explore, and thinking that I could probably have the character misbehave more if they were a kid and have an audience forgive them than if they were an adult.
Right, right. Well, it
Yeah.
definitely reminded me of when I was that age and had crushes on
Mm.
everyone. Different ages.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah,
oh
I'm
my gosh, what's gonna happen to this poor kid? You sort of go, oh, this could end really badly, but it was all right.
yes.
So,
Hmm.
who influenced you growing up?
You mean like filmmakers or?
Yeah, whatever however you want to interpret it.
Yeah, I mean, I always loved, I grew up loving theater and film and loved uh people like Mike Nichols and James L. Brooks, and so I was watching those kind of too adult, too sophisticated, sometimes New York-centric movies. That was kind of very much the movies that I was raised on as a kid, the kind of mid-90s, First Wives Club, As Good as It Gets type movie
Interesting.
was when I was even younger than Griffin, and being taken to those movies that I don't know why, but I was there. So yeah.
That's interesting because when I saw that, and yeah, I'm older than quite a bit older than you are, so my mind went to things like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and some Johnny
Hmm.
Cassavetes movies like Opening Night. I don't know if you saw that one from the 70s, but that's what I
Yeah.
thought. So
Yeah, well, for Regrets of Autumn, I think that that's definitely Griffin's
Yeah.
influence for sure. I actually asked the cast, the junior cast who act in Regrets of Autumn one night after we had rehearsal. They went home and I made them all watch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Or
Hmm.
I recommended that they, with their parents, watched it because
Yeah.
I realized that, the kids in the movie, we didn't necessarily have common reference points. So I thought, well, watch this movie, and at least we'll have that as a common reference point. And yeah.
That's fun. It's always fun to have like a play. Well, even the one I just mentioned, opening night's a play within a play. So that kind of
Mhm.
thing is always fun. So I know you're from Brooklyn, but is that why Bushwick is mentioned in the movie? Does that have a special place in your heart? You just thought it sounded funny, or
I don't know if Bushwick has a special place in my heart. It definitely is in my head, but it's yeah, it was I live in Brooklyn, not in Bushwick, but I know people in Bushwick and have spent time there. And there was actually a point where I was wondering, has Bushwick gotten too fancy now to be where Brad is from? But I was told by um some people that no, it has not. So it's interesting. It always gets the Bushwick shout outs always get a laugh when we have screenings, certainly in New York. And
Mhm.
then when we have screenings in places like, I saw the movie in Calgary and Lisbon. Bushwick, just the word doesn't necessarily get a laugh. So the movie's gonna have a special screening in LA next week, and I'm excited to see if the LA people respond to Bushwick, because
That's
it's
funny.
yeah.
I live in New York, but I just moved here last year, so I'd never heard of Bushwick. I obviously heard of, Brooklyn, but so next time I'm in the city, I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I sure. Yeah, there's fun things to do in
During
Bushwick.
the
There's
daytime, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it is at night.
Yeah, I actually haven't been there in a while, but I heard it's gotten more and more popular, certainly since even I moved to Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have anything else that what's your next thing that you're working on? Have you already started? You must have already started something. You're a writer.
Yeah, a few other things. It's been interesting though. I definitely still feel immersed in the Griffin world as we, get the film out these next few weeks. But um I'm thrilled with the film and how it turned out. So I definitely am excited to do something again. I don't know what it's going to be, but I do think even though they were great, it's not going to start kids or teens. So I think that that's the one thing. I think that I've fully checked that box. Although the kids that we are in this movie are growing up so fast that they could still be in it just as adults. So
That's
that
nice.
much I know. Yeah,
Dogs next. You know that old thing about don't work
maybe.
with kids or
Yeah.
animals. You got to do the animals next.
Yeah, every time I see a trailer, I just saw a trailer for a movie that stars a dog. I'm like, God, this director must have had a horrible actor experience if he's like, I now just want to make a movie starring a Labrador. So I don't think I'm gonna do that next, but adults, I think, will be my next film.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Suzanne. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye.